Hi, my name is Meghan Palanza, and I am the Transaction Monitoring Product Manager with SymphonyAI. I'm going to talk about the transaction monitoring solution that we offer and some of the challenges and technology and how we can help clients resolve those challenges. So some of this we know is needs from advanced detection to fast disclosures. We need to detect, we need to investigate, we need those investigators to be able to review those alerts quickly and easily, be able to manage all the workflows and get through that operational piece. And then, as always, we know from an anti-money laundering process, we need to do a SAR, SMR, STR, depending on where you are regionally in the world. So there's a lot of challenges that compliance programs, especially in transaction monitoring space, are facing today. Too many false positives and rising transaction volumes are not new. These have been in the industry for quite some time, and we need to really sort through how those are being addressed. Increasing regulatory pressure, also nothing new that hasn't been done, we haven't seen in the past 15, 20 years in this industry. It does not seem to be getting any easier, so how are we addressing all those challenges? Also, as we get more data in, the data sometimes becomes more siloed. The processes have been around for too long, so they're really showing their inefficiencies. And because of the too many false positives and the increasing regulatory pressure, there's really a rising cost of addressing and trying to make your transaction monitoring program effective and efficient. And once you have your detections and everything in place, it's also, how are you looking at your customers? We're getting a lot of questions, even more and more so, as to what is the risk level of the customer? How is that customer's behavior affecting my institution? So it's really getting that holistic view of each and every customer within your institution. So technology can really help solve a lot of these challenges. If you can address your detection capability, there are your monitoring rules. Those are in place. I think those are great. We need to always stick with the monitoring rules, but how do we bring in that predictive AI to really help overlay on top of the rules to reduce those false positives? And in addition to reducing false positives, can you find some hidden risks? Are there hidden risks that their rules are not finding? Predictive AI and models can really help with this. Accelerate the investigations. Once you've found the highest quality investigations that you want your users to work through, are they able to make that decision quickly and easily, or is it not a simplified UI? Do they have to go hunting around to get different pieces of information? Are you able to use generative AI to make this a more efficient process? And with all these technology changes, you've got to have the ability to have make sure you're ensuring compliance. Do you have auditable workflows? Do you have event logs? Are you able to explain the predictive and generative AI that you're using to internal boards as well as regulators when they come on site? And as well as the automation of SAR or STR or SMR filings. A lot of the FIUs are offering these electronic filing capabilities. Are you able to take advantage of that with your use of technology? So from a detection standpoint, we've seen more and more, we've got a lot of questions about real-time processes. Money is moving very quickly now. I can send money to someone in Ireland and they're going to get it in minutes. How are we then presenting what might be suspicious that happened 2 hours ago or an hour ago or minutes ago to an investigator to review even faster? So these are things that technology can also help, and detections that are able to move quickly, that's picking up these unusual activity patterns even faster so that they can get them in front of an investigator to address them even sooner. Self-service analytics also, are you able to control these models and have some editing capability and control them within your own, if you've got a model team within in-house, that you're able to do this so that you can make these updates quickly and don't necessarily have to come to a vendor to make those changes. That's the other thing that we want to kind of take a look at. Are you able to do that on the fly, stay agile, and keep it cost effective? So I can't stress this enough, to maximize the investigator effectiveness, because you can find all the most valuable alerts and cases without all your data, but if you don't have your investigators the tools for them to review them quickly and efficiently and really be able to be confident in their decisions, then it's not adding to your compliance program. It's not going to help you get to the end of the line, which is filing a SAR or an SMR and STR. So really giving that holistic view of risk. Can they see what happened with the CDD? Has there been a PEP capability? Giving them a holistic view of what's been going on with that customer and really making it subject-centric. We're getting a lot of questions lately about, if this is one customer, what else? Have they got a fraud investigation going on at the same time? Is there a CDD investigation? Surfacing that information in a meaningful manner for your investigators. And then automating all this data collection. Do they have to go to multiple different places to pull the information that they need to make a decision and to even save that for their retention policies? That's not efficient either. So coordination as well is really key. Part of this is, even as we talked earlier, about going back and seeing what processes might not be efficient anymore. If there's things that you had to do 10 or 15 years ago because that was the technology and that was how the size of your investigation team was. But now are you able to take a better consolidated view of your AML operations and really look and see how it might affect the entire enterprise? So it's not just fraud and AML or CDD. Are you able to kind of collaborate and really see what other investigations and other strategic approaches are being taken across the full financial crime platform? And as we talked about earlier, again, increasing transactional data, increasing data that's coming in. Are you able to be flexible in moving things to scale? You've got increased data volumes, and as we get new regulatory obligations, you're going to have increased investigations that need to be looked at. Being able to be scalable is really key as well. You need to be able to handle those large volumes. So here at SymphonyAI, we have financial crime solutions across the globe. So as I mentioned earlier, you file on SMRs, we file on STRs, we file on SARs. Really, each region, each country decides to do this a little bit differently. We have that expertise and we've put that in place in dozens of countries. And one of the efficiencies, also what I was talking about earlier, is the electronic filings of these. Does the local regulator allow that? With the correct technology, you can file these much sooner. You can avoid that whole manual upload and manual actually filling in of a SAR. There's a lot of technology now that exists that can make this a faster process for your investigator. Sometimes filing the SARs or not filing the SARs can take the most amount of time for investigators. So automatic SAR creation, pre-population of the data, and then being able to, again, show that governance of, here's my documentation supporting my SAR, this is why I decided to file a SAR, all very important and all available within the right technology solution, which is what we have here at SymphonyAI. Some of the models that we have that can be used as an overlay, as we discussed earlier, where you've got your rules, but how are those predictive capabilities and predictive AI allowing you to move forward from a standpoint of really being able to reduce your false positives and detect new risk that your rules may not be finding for you? So this is something that we've been very excited about, because this predictive AI is really moving into the future and allowing clients to use technology to really enhance their programs. And a lot of regulators are now asking for the newest technology to be taken advantage of, and this is one of those options. As well as showing the alerts, once you've got your rules in place and you've got your predictive AI in place, how do you prioritize those high-risk alerts? You want your investigators to be able to see your most effective alerts and your most high-valued alerts first and address those first. So we do something where we auto-hibernate what the models expect to be false positives. We do some automatic dip sampling into that, so the investigators know that what they're looking at are the highest valued alerts, and that will have a higher percentage of resulting in either case and or a SAR. Our investigation hub case management really gives a holistic view. It's got a subject-centric approach, and we're driven by our generative AI capability that we've really been able to bring into once we've moved here to SymphonyAI organization. The co-pilot will do web search. We'll allow investigators to do Q&A about with transactional data. We've got an automatic AI summary. We're doing document summaries that the Copilot will do in a variety of different languages. And as I talked about the SARs earlier, it will automatically generate a SAR narrative or even just an end of case narrative if you decide not to file a SAR. These are huge costs and time savings for your investigators so that they can do what they were hired to do, which is make the decisions, decide what needs to be reported on, and move those investigations through the workflows appropriately to the right teams and make sure that they get closed out sooner rather than later. And you're staying within your compliance deadlines. So as I talked about our Copilot capability, the query tool, the curated web searches, which we're going to really be starting to bring into the agentic capability as well. And that, I can't say enough about that, generate narratives for SAR filing. You can click a button, it will gather all the data that the investigator has decided what's important to include in the narrative, and will generate that narrative based on your individual institution's format that you feel that you want to have for to be on your SAR or SMR or STR reporting. Summarizing attachments, supporting interrogation and access complete audit trails. Obviously, we're always going to gather everything that the Copilot is doing, saving that capability so there's a full audit log as well. So another great feature that we've added into our investigation hub is our network analytics, so that you can really see in a meaningful manner what the relationships are within for your subject. It's going to identify beneficial owners, and you'll be able to see what those beneficials are related to as well, expand the nodes, and we're bringing in transactional flow of funds, and again be able to really dig in and get that level of detail. So the investigators will have that within the investigation hub, within an investigation, so that they can see it in a really meaningful manner, and then they can continue to, maybe they need to add additional subjects onto their investigation, or they can continue on with the one they have, but they'll have that easily clickable so that they don't have to go hunting to 5 different systems to pull in this relevant data. These are just some reasons why we've been selected previously. We're really looking at our effective cross-channel detection at scale, something we've really been working on. We're able to scale very easily. The self-service analytics to fine-tune detection models, again, a real need that we've gotten feedback from clients on, is they want to have that control within their own models. And pulling back from this very alert, and a siloed data to a subject-centric approach. So you see a subject, what are they related to? We talked about the network analytics. We talked about the Copilot being able to pull in that data from the investigator. They're really able to see a holistic view of the customer. The SAR filings is just, again, as we all know, that is what the requirement is. If you have a transaction monitoring, is are you going to have to file, or do you not have to file? What's the process that needs to be done? And because every FIU is going to have different requirements around governance, we've got multiple different approaches to the governance process between audit logs, event logs, documentation. So very easy to capture all that data. So thank you very much for your time today, and appreciate listening.